Go on with it, go on with it. Blessings all for my life, man. My thank God for the journey, the earnings, and that's for the plus. Gratitude is a must. See blessings fall by my right hand.
Oh, baby. Hey. You okay? You woke up screaming.
Did I?
Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your favorite mystic, TheSirenSayz, and welcome back to my commentary channel where I speak about movie, TV, and soon-to-come books, and everything that I like, dislike, and the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything all throughout and in between those frames of media. I just want to put out the disclaimers really quickly. We don't know these people in real life. It's not really about them. It's about the characters. Any passion or lack thereof at this point. It's about the characters. When the screens turn off, we do not care. Also, Tyler Perry, I'm gonna give the writers a few tens, but I still don't know what y'all up to, and I'm still not happy with the show. The show is not up to the level that I want it to be, but every episode there is one thing that I asked them to do either prior or years ago that you're finally doing now, and honestly, kinda too little too late, but I'll acknowledge that you did it, okay? Anyways, let's just get into it really quickly. I wanted to speak about some things before I forgot. So, the conversation between Karen and Dani. Karen, you're dumb. In this instance. Because on the phone, when you were inviting her to the girls' day and you decided to trash Fatima and Dani the whole way, thinking that making fun of Dani and calling Dani out was gonna get her to do what you wanted. Girl, you know you have to butter Dani up to get what you want. Are you mad? Whatever. So, Dani very much retaliated by inviting Fatima. But what I wanted to talk about was how Karen came at her with Tony's ex-wife. And she had an easy clap back for that. That she meant she didn't really care. But as soon as she brought up Preston and his new boo, Dani got quiet and got so angry that she felt like she might lose her job if she really responds to Karen in this moment. I think that's very interesting. On one side, I hate it because I'm like, look, Tyler Perry, if you go remove Preston, remove him. Stop leaving him there in lingers. I know it's like, well, you can't just remove Preston. He's been here for so long. I understand that, but he is the best character in the show, in my personal opinion. And the way that they pushed him out was so dirty. I'm like, don't even besmirch his name anymore. Like, don't even do it. Like, just let him leave. If he gonna be on Zatima, let him be. I'm not gonna watch Zatima, but good for him. Like, let it be. You know what I mean? But for them to keep leaving all these whispers and lingers, unfinished business, Dani's still feeling a lot towards Preston, which is interesting. What, you don't talk about him enough in therapy, number one? And number two, I thought Tony was your perfect man. In my personal opinion, like, I've been hurt by people, sure. But let's say I'm single, let's say I'm taken, who knows what I am? If I'm with the perfect man, I'm not going to feel a way about the other guy. Now, of course, you can say, look, what happened with Preston just happened 5 months ago. Of course, you're still affected. Sure. But Dani was very all or nothing. She was like, I don't need Preston because I have Tony. And as you can see in the sneak peek, it's coming to the point where she gonna watch these kids. Ooh, I'm gonna talk about that in a second. Give me a moment. I just think that it's so interesting that she's that raw. It's giving that if Preston were to just pop up now, she wouldn't be able to control herself and they would have a very volatile conversation. Because if she really got everything she wanted, would she be this affected? I'm not saying she wouldn't be affected, but she cared less about the man who she's with's wife, ex-wife. She cared less about military militia. She cared less about military militia than Mindy, or whatever her name is. Don't you think that's a little interesting? I know there can be reasonings for it or whatever, but I just think it's annoying that they are continuing to make her be affected by Preston in this way and showing it in such visceral moments of exposition and acting when he gone and you didn't plan for her to end up with him. Now, this could be the seeds to show that he gonna come back. Not necessarily to be with her, but he might show up later. Who knows? My problem with this is that I don't want that. So while it did pique my interest that she was more affected by that than Militia, I still don't appreciate it. But it did shock me. Her reaction to that did shock me. And Karen, you're out of pocket for that. You're out of pocket, ma'am. But also Dani was out of pocket for low-key calling her a hoe. But I laughed, so it is what it is. Also, to speed it up, let's talk about Jordan for a second. I know the palm-colored man that he's working with now is just a plant by Gary. However, before we found out he was a plant, I saw chemistry there, which just proves that this guy is really not good at acting straight, because I'm seeing him have chemistry with everybody who's not a woman on this show. Tyler, switch him out. I know it's going to be super jarring if you switch out the nigga twice, but at this point, we need somebody else. Because like I said, Grayson, Maurice's boyfriend, is giving more straight than Jordan. So I'm going to need you to fix that. Fix that. Thank you. Anyways, just to skip forward to what's going on with Andy. Miss Marie Willis is interesting, or she was. Now she's just boring me. And I know you're like, how come you're bored? Like, she's interested in Hayden and all that. Wouldn't you like that? Perhaps. But the way Hayden fooled her. Now, for somebody who has that much money, you gotta know a little bit of legalese. Not a lot, but a little bit. I believe Preston, but I don't know anything about legalese. I don't know anything. You are a billionaire who is known as this cutthroat person. You can tell people from this and that. And you gonna let Hayden play you? Now, it may be that she is okay with being played because she just wants more access to Hayden. Spoiler alert, skip 5-6 seconds. She's gonna proposition Hayden. So we'll see if he ready to do something strange for the partner position. But I don't like how dumb it made her look, in my personal opinion. I love Hayden, but it made her look dumb to just acquiesce like that. And her whole, I'm here on my time, where were you? When, like, she came to work on time, but just not on time enough for her. Like, what's going on with you? Like, who cares? Anyways, just to skip forward again, Sabrina. I don't like that she got the job. It actually made me very, very upset. Until I realized that she only got the job because they had to fire Paige because Maurice made them think. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't, or whatever. But Maurice got Paige fired. At first, I was super upset. Before I heard about the Paige thing, I was like, oh my God, why they keep getting everything that they want? I'm pissed. But then after I heard what she said to Maurice and what Maurice responded, I'm like, okay. Number one, that makes way more sense. Number two, it makes me feel better because it means that there's a chance that she wouldn't have got the job back if they had somebody more trustworthy. Yes, I said it. Like I say all the time, I don't like Paige. I think I made a video about that that's going to come out a little bit later. It's not that I like Paige. I don't. But Sabrina is not the blameless party in all of this. And so, no, I don't think she deserved the job. And her getting upset about this, like, girl, take an ibuprofen and lie down. Because I don't know what you yelling for. What are you yelling for, ma'am? Nobody said. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, she gets the job and immediately goes back to hire Maurice. Yes, he had your back. But he also opened up your back to attacks. Two things can be true at the same time. He's always there for you. But he's also always getting you out of messes that he causes. Yeah. The least he could have done was gotten Paige off your back since she was on your back. In my personal opinion, they were holding you accountable, but, because she's of palm-colored complexion, there has to be a racial element or whatever. Yeah, but even today, she was talking on the phone with Karen, and India came in and said that there might be a personal call. Like, especially if you're looking to get a higher position, shouldn't you have been on your P's and Q's for like 3 weeks just so that, they already saw you, but they see that you're trying to do a little more? Like, do something. Do something. Instead, I'm sitting here wondering how you even got this job, and then it's revealed that you got the job because the person who really should have gotten it was kicked out by your shady friend. Whatever. I'm not gonna say much else about that. It is what it is. Oh, before I forget this really sweet, touching moment, Pam and Karen, I actually felt something. I haven't felt something sweet watching this show in a long time. Karen apologized to Pam for, being rude to her. And Pam, tells her that she's inspired by her. And Karen gets choked up. I thought that was a really sweet moment, a really sweet scene. Pam is trying to take her business semi-seriously, and Karen is allowing her some time to go do that. I thought that was cute. I thought that was sweet. These are moments in the show that I really don't mind. I liked it, to be very honest with y'all. I liked it. Let's just get into Dani for a second with Tony. So now he's saying that the woman who I've never even heard of her babysitting, and you've been all throughout and inside that house, so I don't know how you thought that was a good place for the kids or whatever. But now he's like, I need you to watch my kids. Excuse me? Huh? You need Daniela to watch your children? I can't stand Tony, but you know what, Dani? You walked yourself into this one. You walked right into it. The cowboy wouldn't have dropped the children on you, because he knows better than to just drop something like that on you. He only dropped stuff on you that he knew you could handle, or that would jilt you just enough to force you to react so that he could see what you were really feeling. But he would never drop something this permanent on you. But you know what? You said you were thinking about being a stepmother, so I guess the next part is actually watching them. But look at that. The girl found the handcuffs. I'm not saying anything else. I can't stand them. Anyways, to speak about Hayden and Andy again, there's this chemistry between them. It's palpable. I don't know if things ever gonna happen between them, but if we're just doing drama for drama's sake, I want to see that. I want to see it so bad. Like, if we're just doing nonsense, like, just for the it factor of, wow, what is that? Like, I want to see a wow, what is that moment between the two of them. Yeah. Like, I don't really need to see Gary and Tamira. Like, nobody needed that. Like, but, like, if we want something weird, like, Hayden and Andy, like, that's kind of cute. Anyways, let's get into, like, the best scene of the show, okay? The mocktail celebration for Sabrina getting the job that she does not deserve. So, it was excellent because the girls were going at it. Just going at it. Karen came in like Maleficent. Karen walked in the building like a Disney villain, and I loved every second of it. And I'm gonna say here, unpopular opinion, I think Karen had a point at certain sections. Do I think she's completely right and that nobody else who was saying anything to her had any points? Absolutely not. Karen is wrong a lot of the time, but every now and then, if you can get past her snarky attitude, she says something that makes sense. And when she brought up that she doesn't know why she's friends with Dani anymore, of course, I didn't like that. I'm like, girl, why would you say that? But then she brought up some stuff that I haven't thought about in a while. I remember the first time I started watching this show, I was thinking to myself, I said, why would Dani house Karen's ex? You know? Why? Like, what's going on here? I don't understand. You know what I mean? I didn't understand why that was happening. I thought it was weird. You know, the way that she always backed him up. Like, yes, she had Karen's back as well. She wasn't completely crap talking her. But there was just this weird level of her allegiance to people who are not on Karen's side at the moment. That does happen. Karen is not wrong about that. However, because of everything that Karen has done, people are not going to understand that she can be right about one thing while also being in the wrong. Someone can be in the wrong and also be right about something. It happens, you know. It's a paradoxical thing, but it does happen. Now, I wanted to talk about what Dani was right about. Dani was correct, right? That Karen is super controlling and wants to pretend that she's everybody's mom. She's not. She's rude. Correct. But I do think it's interesting that she really does tend to take the side of the person who is against her at the moment. And I know that a lot of people are going to be like, who cares? Karen is the worst character. She's terrible. We hate her. I understand that as well. You know, Karen is not my favorite character. Never has been, never will be. However, I do think she had a point when she came at Dani a little bit. I don't like when she said Dani was selfish. I don't agree with that. Dani's not a selfish person. But I guess she's saying that she doesn't understand why her friends can't back her up. And you see, I've been saying this for a long time, and people always attack me when I say this. They always come at me. They don't really attack me. They come at me. And they're like, no, she's wrong. And if she's wrong, then her friends can stab her in the back because she's wrong. Like, you do realize that when she's wrong, she's not wrong towards her friends, right? She's wrong towards another person that ain't got nothing to do with her friends and it has no effect on her friends either. It would be one thing if, like, she effed Dani over or Sabrina or whatever, and you could say she was wrong there and she doesn't deserve any loyalty. But if she's having beef with her boyfriend's new girl, or she having beef with her boyfriend, why shouldn't her friends side with her is all I'm saying. I'm not saying she right. I'm talking about best friendship code. Not even friendship. Best friendship. That's supposed to be your ride or die. Where is the ride or die in this friend group? It's like they only ride or die with her when she's completely in the right. Like, all the I's have to be dotted and all the T's have to be crossed for them to back her up. That's weird to me. This is not to say that friends need to back you up in every dumb situation. But Karen was never in, like, life-threatening situations. She just wanted her friends to back her up against her ex-boyfriend and his new girl. And they couldn't even do that. Now, I understand why Andy couldn't do that. Which is why I did say that she should just stop being friends with them. Andy specifically. Right? I did say that. I said, look, Andy not gonna let Fatima go. There's way too much loyalty there, way too much love there. She not gonna let Fatima go. And she shouldn't have to, because Fatima is a better friend than Karen. And I will say that. Fatima is a better person than Karen, still is. And Dani is a better friend than Karen as well. So don't hear me say this that I'm crapping on Dani just because I don't like her anymore. Dani is still one of the better people to be friends with in the friend group. She is one of the better persons to be friends with. But what I'm saying is Karen is not wrong. She's not. Yes, you can say they're grown women. Why should they back each other up in situations like this? Sure, fine. But we all know that all these girls are childish in certain areas. I think it's really weird that they're all puffing up their chests and acting like they're so mature and grown up, while Karen is the only childish one. This moment is very weird to me. But however, I appreciated that Karen got up, walked out, and said she's not friends with them anymore. She's tired. She's done. Because I've been wanting her to break up the friend group for a while. Here's why. It makes sense. She's doing way too much, and she needs a reality check, and she needs to be alone to see what was wrong. I like that. This is not me saying that she should stop being friends with them because the girls are terrible. The girls aren't terrible. They're not super reliable, but they're not terrible, right? But that friend group thing, it just was not working out. So I'm glad that she finally broke up that friendship and let that go. Because I needed that to not be a thing anymore. In my very personal opinion. You know what I mean? So, in any case, I'm very happy about that. So we'll see what's going on with that later on. Alright? Now, last thing I wanted to discuss is Dani's reaction to it, and then one other thing. But Dani's upset, but she's also saying F Karen. I don't know why I'm friends with her either. Of course, like I said, Karen should have been left them. Because we all know Andy was never going to stop being friends with Karen, even though she really should. So I'm glad that Karen is the one to break up the friend group, because they all need a reality check as to how they're not good friends. I remember a long time ago when Dani was my favorite, I kept feeling like none of the girls ever respected Dani the way that they should have. And I'm still correct about that. They've never respected her the way that they should have. So I think she should have stopped being friends with them a long time ago, but they sort of guilted her into becoming friends with them instead of like apologizing to her and giving her the tens that she deserved, which is really weird to me still. However, Kara had a point about her with the Zach thing. She's right about that. It's one of the reasons why I thought her and Zach would have been really good together. They had a lot of chemistry. As I told you before, her and Fatima are very much alike. They're very alike. I don't know why Zach hasn't picked up on that yet, but whatever. They're very much alike. I think that's one of the reasons why Zach likes Fatima so much. So I was like, ooh, wouldn't it have been interesting friendship dynamic drama if Dani had gotten with Zach? But of course, they were never going to do that. That's way too risky, and they wouldn't know a way to either build or destroy the friendship using that as a catalyst in a way that wouldn't make much sense. So we're not going to give them that drama. Anyways, last thing, we know you want to hear about it. What do you think, Siren? What do you think about the baby thing? I said in the last episode, I didn't hear any spoilers. I said that I was hoping that the babies had two different fathers. Now, somebody commented and say that that would be lazy writing. Of course it's lazy. I'm not trying to give them good ideas. Sometimes I try to give them good ideas. But nowadays, when I give an idea, it's like, here's something you could do to make me be interested. Not even something that's like top tier. And in my personal opinion, I don't necessarily think that two different baby daddies is like lazy. It's just gonna automatically be lazy because it's in this show and they never do anything the right way. So, obviously the other one is Aaron's. If it's not Aaron's, they just pull that out the side of their ass, and I don't appreciate it. But obviously Aaron will obviously be coming back because that's obviously Aaron's other kid. That'll be an awkward conversation for you, won't it, Karen? But I do agree with the commenter because they said they wish that both of the babies were Aaron's. Me too. I feel like that would have been a great comeuppance for her. Like, yeah, I want both them babies to be Aaron's. Anyways, Penelope might be deceased. Or is in a hospital banged up somewhere. Because Tyler Perry does not like to commit to deaths. But we'll see what happens. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. And goodbye, my sires. Sue.